Dear seeker, pause for a moment and look within. Have you ever felt that despite all your efforts, your prayers, your discipline, your sincerity, some invisible chain still binds you? Why do certain struggles repeat in our lives as if written by an unseen hand? Babaji once revealed to his disciples that karma is not merely the result of visible actions but also the subtle fragrance carried by the heart. And it is here that the mystery unfolds. Silent acts of service, those hidden gestures no eye observes, have the power to rewrite the script of destiny itself. In the outer world, we often measure deeds by applause, recognition, or gratitude. But the universe, dear seeker, listens to a different language. It hears the silent prayer whispered for another soul, the hand extended without seeking acknowledgement, the blessing offered in secret. Such acts are beyond the grasp of the ego, and therefore, they flow straight into the divine ledger of karma, untouched and untainted. Imagine a lamp burning quietly in a dark cave. It does not call attention to itself, yet it transforms the entire space. In the same way, your unseen kindness becomes a hidden flame that begins to dissolve shadows of past burdens. Silent service is like water flowing beneath the soil, unnoticed, yet nourishing the roots of a vast tree that one day gives shelter to many. Babaji always teaches that when the ego is silent, God acts. And when God acts through you in service, the karmic currents begin to shift. This is the forgotten key, the hidden law. What you do in silence echoes across lifetimes. The question is, are you willing to serve without being seen, to love without being praised, to give without being known? Dear seeker, let us begin by asking, what is service in its truest sense? Many think service means offering wealth, building temples, or standing in the spotlight of charity. Yet Babaji always reminds his disciples that the deepest service is often invisible, known only to God and to the one who offers it. Silent service is the act of giving without announcing, loving without demanding, and blessing without expecting a return. It is the quiet fragrance of the soul expressed through action. Consider a gentle breeze moving through the forest. It touches every leaf, refreshes every branch, yet claims no credit. This is how silent service works. It enters life softly, bringing comfort, healing, or strength, and vanishes without a trace of ego. You may help a stranger without sharing your name, feed a hungry being without speaking a word, or simply hold another in your heart with compassion. These are the subtle deeds that Babaji calls the unwritten scriptures of karma, for they are not etched in books but in the energy of your soul. Why is silence so important? Because silence disarms the ego. When you serve with a desire for recognition, a part of your gift is claimed by pride, and karma binds you further. But when you serve in stillness, no chain is created. The act rises like pure incense into the higher realms, untouched by self-interest. Babaji has said, silent service is the secret channel through which God moves into the world. When you practice it, you become a hidden instrument of the divine. And though no one may notice, the cosmic law notices everything. Each unseen gesture becomes a seed of light that will one day blossom as peace, protection, or unexpected grace upon your path. Dear seeker, you may ask, why does silence hold such power over karma? Babaji always explains that the universe does not weigh the noise of action, but the purity of intention. When you act in silence, you strip away the need for recognition, and what remains is the essence of love itself. It is not the size of the offering that transforms your karma, but the vibration behind it. Think of a drop of water falling into a still pond. No one may notice, yet ripples spread outward endlessly. In the same way, when you perform a silent act of kindness, whether it is a prayer for a suffering soul or a quiet gesture of help, the subtle waves of your intention move through the unseen fabric of creation. These waves return to you as harmony, blessings, and release from old karmic entanglements. Babaji often tells his disciples, energy follows intention. If your intention is to be praised, the energy binds you to the cycle of ego and expectation. But if your intention is pure love, free of desire for reward, the energy becomes light and liberates you. Silent service is therefore a sacred alchemy. It transforms ordinary acts into golden vibrations of merit that cannot be touched by time. The law of karma is precise, yet it is compassionate. It responds not only to what is visible but to what is hidden in the heart. Silent service bypasses the world of applause and envy and flows directly into the divine current. In silence, your act carries no shadow, and thus the karmic law embraces it fully. Seeker, understand this well. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is fullness without noise, love without demand, action without self. This is why karma bows to the power of silent service. Dear seeker, many come before Babaji with the same cry in their hearts: how can I be free from the weight of my past mistakes? How can I undo the knots of karma that follow me like shadows? Babaji, with infinite compassion, teaches that silent, selfless service is one of the hidden medicines of the soul. Karma is like a fire. Every negative action of the past adds fuel to it. But silent service is cool water poured upon those flames. You may not see the fire extinguish at once, but with each hidden act, the heat lessens, the smoke clears, and your path becomes brighter. A gentle word spoken without seeking credit, a prayer whispered for one who hurt you, a coin given without your name attached, each of these small offerings weakens the grip of old karmic chains. Babaji says, the soul is not punished by karma, it is educated by it. When you serve silently, you are showing the universe that you have learned, that you no longer act from pride or selfish desire. The cosmic law, seeing this shift, begins to untie the knots of your past. What once appeared as heavy burdens may dissolve into lighter lessons. Situations that seemed endless begin to move, and what once blocked you begins to open. Imagine a heavy stone tied to your ankle, pulling you down into a river. Silent acts are like cutting the rope thread by thread. At first, the change is subtle, but soon you rise to the surface, breathing freely in the light of grace. Seeker, know this: no past is too heavy for the cleansing waters of silent service. With each hidden act of love, you redeem yourself, and the chains of karma slowly transform into wings of freedom. Dear seeker, Babaji often reminds us that the universe is not ruled by human judgment but by a vast and precise balance. This balance is the law of karma. Every thought, every word, every action adds weight to one side of the scale or the other. Yet Babaji also reveals a secret: silent acts of service are so refined, so pure, that they slip directly into this balance without creating new entanglements. In the world, when service is loud, it may bring both praise and envy. Applause adds pride, and envy from others creates subtle cords of energy. Both weave fresh threads of karma. But when service is silent, no such cords are spun. It bypasses human reactions and flows into the higher ledger of divine law. The act becomes weightless and luminous, tilting the scale of karma in your favor without adding new bindings. Imagine two lamps. One shines brightly in a crowded hall, admired by all, but it also attracts moths that circle and burn themselves. The other lamp burns quietly in a temple corner, unseen by most, yet its light continues undisturbed, steady, and pure. Silent service is that hidden lamp. It carries no disturbance, only clarity. Babaji teaches, when your actions are unseen, only God bears witness. And God alone can balance your karma in truth. The cosmic law measures not the noise of the act but the fragrance of the heart. Even the smallest hidden kindness, a smile offered to a stranger, a meal placed secretly for the hungry, tips the subtle balance of your destiny toward harmony. Seeker, remember, karma is not a punishment but a scale-seeking equilibrium. Through silent service, you align yourself with this balance, and life begins to flow in grace instead of struggle. Dear seeker, Babaji always emphasizes that truth must be lived, not merely spoken. Silent service is not just an idea to contemplate but a way of life to embody. You need not wait for great opportunities. Every day offers countless chances to serve without noise, to give without announcing, to love without being seen. Begin with the smallest gestures. When you see an animal hungry, place food for it without seeking thanks. When someone speaks harshly, send them a silent blessing rather than a sharp reply. When you earn a little extra, share a portion quietly with one in need without declaring your charity. Even your thoughts can serve. Pray for those in pain, or dedicate a moment of your meditation to a suffering soul. These are simple, practical ways to weave silent acts into the fabric of your day. Babaji has said, service done with the lips may fade, but service done in silence becomes eternal. Every hidden act plants an unseen seed in the soil of the universe. One day, when you least expect it, those seeds blossom into grace, perhaps as protection from danger, healing in illness, or peace in times of turmoil. You may not even connect the blessing with the act, yet the law has already recorded it. Seeker, silent service can be practiced anywhere, in your home, by offering patience to your family, in your work, by helping without claiming credit, in your community, by uplifting without recognition. Even walking gently upon the earth, leaving no harm in your steps, is a form of service. The key is intention. If your heart is pure, every action, no matter how small, becomes sacred. In this way, you transform ordinary moments into divine offerings, and your life itself becomes a hidden temple of service. Dear seeker, while silent acts of service shape the course of your karma in the outer world, their greatest miracle unfolds within. Babaji teaches that the true purpose of service is not merely to change circumstances, but to change the servant. When you serve without words, without show, something subtle begins to shift inside you, the walls of ego soften, and the fragrance of compassion rises from your soul. At first, the mind may resist, whispering, "No one sees what you are doing. What use is it?" But as you persist, you begin to taste a quiet joy, deeper than praise. A lightness enters your heart, for you no longer carry the heavy burden of needing recognition. Silent service purifies the channels of thought and emotion, it calms restlessness and opens the hidden springs of love that flow without condition. Babaji says, when you forget yourself in service, you find yourself in God. Each unseen act polishes the mirror of your consciousness, until you glimpse the radiance of your own soul reflected back. Anger diminishes, because you learn to respond with understanding. Fear lessens, because you begin to trust the law of divine balance. Even sorrow lightens, because you feel yourself connected with all beings in their journey. This is the inner transformation, a movement from the small self that seeks reward to the vast self that gives because it cannot help but give. Silent service awakens this hidden majesty within you. In time, seeker, you will find that you no longer serve in silence, the silence itself serves through you. And then, every breath, every step, every glance becomes an offering, not bound by karma but flowing in eternal freedom. Dear seeker, as we arrive at the close of this reflection, let us remember, karma is not some distant punishment or reward handed down by an external judge. It is the intimate echo of our own vibration, returning to us in forms that guide our growth. Babaji always teaches, the universe mirrors the heart, purify the heart, and the mirror will shine with peace. Silent acts of service are the polish that clears that mirror. You have heard how silent service bypasses the entanglements of ego, how it dissolves the fire of past burdens, how it tips the scales of subtle balance, and how it quietly transforms the very core of your being. But these teachings are not meant to remain in words, they are meant to be lived. Every moment offers a chance to step into this law. Even as you listen now, ask yourself, what small, unseen act can I offer today? Perhaps it is a kind thought for someone you struggle with, a meal left quietly for one in need, or a prayer whispered for the healing of the world. Babaji says, the greatest service is the one the world cannot measure, for it is measured only by God. Seeker, do not wait for tomorrow or for grand occasion. Begin with the hidden moments. Each silent act is like a drop of nectar, and together they create the ocean of grace in which your karma is transformed. If this message has touched your heart, I invite you to share in the spirit of service, Write in the comments a reflection of your own, or simply type Jai Gurudev as your offering. And tell me, dear seeker, what teaching of Babaji you long to hear next, so together we continue to walk in his light. Until then, live gently, serve silently, and love endlessly. Jai Gurudev.